Now listen, let me tell you something. See, a lot of women think if a man likes you, he's just going to walk up, be bold, say something, make the move. That's what everybody says, right? If he wanted to, he would. But life ain't always that simple. Some men want to, they just waiting on a signal. They waiting on permission. They waiting on you. Let me tell you something, when a man's attention never really leaves you, that's not accidental. See, attention is one of the most valuable things a man gives. A man can be busy, distracted, focused on 100 things, but when he keeps noticing you, that means something is pulling him back. You ever notice how he remembers small details you forgot you even said? That wasn't random. People don't store information about someone they feel neutral about. His mind keeps coming back to you because emotionally you matter more than he admits. He might not say it out loud, but attention is action in quiet form. Watch the pattern. You walk into a room, his eyes find you. Not dramatically, not obvious every time, but consistently. That consistency is the clue. Interest shows up in repetition. Anybody can notice you once. A man who keeps noticing you is revealing priority without using words. Now here's where women misunderstand this. They think if he hasn't made a big move, the attention doesn't count. That's not true. For a lot of men, attention comes before courage. He's studying the situation. He's reading your energy. He's trying to understand if he's welcome or if he's about to embarrass himself. Because attention is also assessment. He watches how you react to him. He notices if you smile differently, if your tone softens, if conversations flow. A man who keeps his attention on you is trying to find confirmation without asking the question directly. That's how hesitation and interest exist at the same time. And let's be real, a man doesn't repeatedly invest attention where he feels nothing. That would be exhausting. Attention naturally goes where curiosity lives, where attraction lives, where possibility lives. So when his awareness keeps returning to you, that's emotional gravity happening in real time. Sometimes his attention shows up as checking in, random messages that don't have a strong reason, little reactions to your stories, asking simple questions that extend conversations. It may look casual, but the consistency is intentional. He's staying present in your world without stepping too far forward. Other times it shows in how he listens. You talk and he's actually listening, not waiting to speak, not distracted. He follows up later. That means your words stayed with him after the moment ended. That's deeper than surface interest. That's mental presence. Here's the part most people miss. Attention without action often means internal conflict, not lack of desire. He wants proximity, but he's unsure about risk. So he stays engaged in the safest way possible, awareness, watching, noticing, being there without forcing a shift that could change everything. Because the moment he makes a clear move, the dynamic changes. And some men take longer to cross that line when they care more. When the outcome matters, hesitation increases. So his attention becomes the bridge between where he is and where he wants to go. And if his attention hasn't faded, that's the biggest signal. Real disinterest drifts away. It loses focus. It becomes inconsistent. But when a man's attention keeps returning to you over time, that means the feeling didn't disappear. It stayed active. Attention is quiet interest repeating itself. It's presence without announcement. And when someone keeps showing up in that way, it usually means you've been on his mind longer than he's willing to admit. Let me explain something that confuses a lot of people. When a man creates opportunities to be around you, but doesn't cross the line, that is not coincidence. That is intention mixed with hesitation. He wants proximity, but he's careful about escalation. You start noticing he finds reasons to be there. Conversations that didn't need to happen suddenly happen. Moments that could have been short become longer. He lingers. Not enough to make it obvious, but enough that you feel the pattern. That's a man positioning himself without announcing his feelings, because proximity is the safest move when a man is unsure. Being around you gives him connection without risk. He gets to experience your energy, talk to you, build familiarity, all without facing rejection directly. So instead of making a bold move, he keeps opening small doors. You might see it in simple ways. He asks questions that extend interaction. He suggests things casually, like we should check that out sometime, but doesn't lock a plan. He joins spaces where you are. He stays in conversations even when there's an easy exit. Those are not random behaviors. Those are soft invitations. See, a man who feels nothing doesn't create extra moments. He keeps things efficient. Distance is natural when interest is low. Effort appears when interest is present. So when he repeatedly creates opportunities, what he's really doing is building comfort for you and for himself. Comfort matters more than people realize. A man wants signs before he risks clarity. Every extra moment is information. He's learning how you respond. Do you engage? Do you seem happy he's there? Do you continue the conversation? These small interactions become signals that shape whether he moves forward. Sometimes the opportunity looks like help, offering support, doing small favors, showing up when you mention something. That's proximity disguised as usefulness. It allows him to be involved in your life without labeling the involvement. It feels natural, but underneath it is emotional investment growing quietly. And here's the key detail. He stops right before the line. That line where intention becomes obvious. He doesn't disappear, but he doesn't declare either. That pause is where uncertainty lies. Crossing the line means vulnerability. Staying near the line feels safer. Many women misread this pause as lack of confidence or lack of interest, but often it's neither. It's calculation. He's trying to protect the connection that already exists, because once he makes a clear move, things can change. And when he values the dynamic, he moves slower. You may notice he leaves conversations open instead of closed. He creates continuation, future references, inside jokes, things that give him a reason to reconnect again. That's not accidental. That's long-term positioning. He's making sure there's always another moment available. What he's really doing is waiting for a green light inside these opportunities. A little extra warmth, a little reciprocity. Something that tells him stepping forward won't break what's already there, because opportunity without response keeps him in that middle space. So he stays consistent with proximity, not pushing, not disappearing, just present enough that the connection grows naturally. It's patience mixed with hope. And when someone repeatedly creates space to be around you, it usually means they're trying to move closer. They're just waiting for the moment that feels safe to do it. Expend 3 keynotes, 587 words, without subheading and conclusion. You can learn a lot about a man by what his body does when his words are trying to stay calm. Because body language doesn't negotiate with pride, it doesn't protect ego the same way words do. When feelings are real, the body leaks the truth. You ever notice how his energy shifts around you? Maybe he's confident with everyone else, relaxed, smooth, but around you there's a slight change. He adjusts his posture. He becomes more aware of himself. That awareness is nervous interest. That's a man who suddenly cares how he's perceived. Nervousness is not weakness. Nervousness is investment. You don't get nervous around people who don't matter. When a man likes you, your opinion carries weight. That pressure creates small signals he can't fully control. Watch his eye contact. It tells a story words avoid. He looks at you, then looks away, then looks back again. That pattern is attraction mixed with self-control. He wants connection, but he doesn't want to be exposed too clearly. So the eyes reveal curiosity while the mind tries to stay composed. Then there's the subtle mirroring. People naturally mirror the person they feel drawn to. He leans when you lean. His tone softens when yours does. He matches your pace in conversation. This isn't something he plans, it's subconscious alignment. The body trying to create closeness before the mind says it out loud. You might notice small restless behaviors. Adjusting his clothes, touching his face, fixing posture. Those are self-regulation signals. His nervous system is active because you're not neutral to him. He's aware he's being seen, and that awareness matters because you matter. And here's something interesting. He might tease you more. Playful energy is often nervous attraction wearing confidence as a mask. Humor reduces pressure. It lets him interact without declaring seriousness. But underneath the jokes is attention focused specifically on you. Physical orientation is another big clue. Where his body points often reveals where his interest sits. Even in group settings, his torso, his feet, his attention keep returning to you. That's instinct. We orient toward what we care about. The body chooses before logic catches up. Sometimes his voice changes slightly. Maybe it becomes softer, slower, or more intentional. That shift happens when someone wants to be understood and liked at the same time. It's subtle, but it's real. Communication becomes more careful when emotional stakes rise. The key thing about nervous body language is consistency. Anyone can have a random moment, but when these signals repeat specifically around you, it shows pattern, and pattern shows emotional relevance. He's not just interacting, he's experiencing you. What makes this powerful is that body language often appears before action. It's the early stage of interest, where feelings are active but decisions are still forming. He hasn't chosen boldness yet, but his body has already reacted to the connection. So you see the pauses, the glances, the small adjustments, the playful tension. Those are signs of internal dialogue happening in real time. Part of him wants to move forward. Another part wants certainty first. That push and pull creates nervous energy you can feel without a single direct confession. And when a man's body keeps revealing that tension around you, it usually means one simple thing: he's not indifferent. He's feeling something strong enough that staying completely relaxed is no longer possible. Let me tell you about one of the clearest signs a man is waiting on you. He responds fast. He shows up. He engages, but he rarely initiates. That space between response and initiation is where hesitation lies. See, when a man doesn't care, his responses are inconsistent, slow dry, sometimes missing completely. Effort disappears where interest doesn't exist. But when he replies quickly, keeps conversations going, adds energy, that means you're important. The connection matters enough for immediate attention. The confusion starts because people expect interest to always lead with initiation. But for many men, responding feels safer than starting. Starting carries risk. Responding carries permission. If you reach out first, he knows he's welcome in that moment. That removes uncertainty. So what you see is reliability without leadership. He's there, present, engaged, but he waits for the opening to come from you. Not because he lacks interest, because he's measuring safety. He wants to talk to you. He just doesn't want to misread you. Watch how the conversation feels once it begins. He doesn't give short answers. He expands. He asks questions back. He keeps it alive. That's effort. Effort is emotional investment in motion. A man who repeatedly invests energy after you start something is revealing desire to stay connected. Sometimes he replies almost instantly, but takes longer to send the first message. That difference tells you everything. Quick responses show priority. Lack of initiation shows caution. Both can exist at the same time when someone cares but isn't fully certain. And certainty is powerful for men. Clarity reduces fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of ruining the dynamic. If he values the connection, he may protect it by staying in response mode, because responding cannot be rejected the same way initiating can. You might also notice he picks up where conversations left off. He remembers topics. He references things you said days ago. That means he wasn't just replying, he was paying attention. His mind stayed engaged even when he wasn't the one starting the interaction. Another detail is emotional availability inside his responses. He shares more than surface information, opinions, stories, small vulnerabilities. That depth doesn't happen with someone he feels neutral about. Depth is a sign he feels safe with you. Even if he hasn't taken the lead yet, the pattern becomes clear over time. You start, he invests. You open, he expands. You engage, he stays. That rhythm shows willingness, just not initiative. And willingness matters more than people think. Initiative often comes later, once confidence catches up to feeling. Many women interpret lack of initiation as lack of courage or lack of interest, but sometimes it's simply timing. He's trying to see if the connection is mutual before he shifts roles, because once he begins initiating consistently, he's admitting intention. So he stays in the middle space where he can be present without fully exposing himself. Reliable but careful, interested but measured, waiting for repetition of positive signals that tell him stepping forward won't change things negatively. When someone consistently responds with energy, attention, and continuity, that's not passive behavior. That's restrained interest. It's a man showing you he wants conversation, connection, and presence. He's just waiting to feel certain that starting it himself will be welcomed. There is a moment when a man starts supporting you emotionally before anything is official, and that moment says more than big romantic gestures ever could, because emotional support is not casual. It requires attention, care, and presence that people don't give where they feel nothing. You start noticing he checks on you, not only when things are good, but when something feels off. He senses shifts in your mood. He asks if you're okay in ways that feel genuine, not routine. That awareness means he's emotionally tuned in, and emotional tuning doesn't happen without interest. See, a man who is already showing emotional support is acting like a partner before claiming the title. He encourages you. He listens when you talk about stress. He reminds you of your value when you doubt yourself. Those are not small things. That is investment in your emotional world. Many men struggle to express feelings directly, but they express care through support, helping you feel better, offering perspective, trying to solve problems, or simply staying present while you talk. That behavior reveals priority because emotional energy is limited. People protect it unless someone matters. What makes this powerful is consistency. Anyone can be supportive once. Real interest shows when support repeats over time. He becomes someone you naturally turn to, and he becomes someone who naturally shows up. That mutual emotional space creates connection deeper than surface attraction. You might notice he celebrates your wins like they matter to him personally. That's a big sign. Indifference doesn't celebrate deeply. When a man feels proud of you, excited for you, motivated by your growth, it means your happiness affects his emotional state. That's attachment forming quietly. Sometimes his support looks practical. Advice, solutions, suggestions. Men often express care through problem solving because it feels like action. He wants to be useful in your life. Usefulness creates value, and value creates closeness. He's positioning himself as someone important without saying it directly. Other times his support is simply presence. Staying in conversation when you're overwhelmed, letting you vent, not rushing you. That patience is emotional generosity. It shows he doesn't see interaction with you as obligation. He sees it as something meaningful. Here's the key detail most people miss. Emotional support creates vulnerability on his side too. The more he invests in your feelings, the more he risks his own, because attachment grows through care. So if he's consistently supporting you, he's already crossing emotional lines internally, even if nothing is defined externally. You may notice he remembers what affects you, things that stress you, things that make you happy. He adjusts how he speaks to you based on that knowledge. That level of attention is partner behavior, not casual behavior. It means he's thinking long-term without necessarily labeling it. Sometimes he protects your confidence in subtle ways, encouraging you when you doubt yourself, reframing negative thought.